Gee whiz, what does that song have to do with God? Everything has to do with God. And God is everywhere. I love traveling songs. I love songs that take you places. And that song kind of takes you on the train ride all across these United States. And I love the fact that in these very sort of almost mundane lyrics is something profound. And for me, when I was a kid listening to that song, it was that God was everywhere. Everywhere. So you never know what song Jack's going to suggest to play on Sunday morning anyway. You know it's going to be from the 70s. That's all, one thing we know. So when he said, what about this song? And he starts playing it over the phone. It's great because when we're working out the music on Wednesdays, he's on the phone and he just picks up his guitar and he starts playing. And I'm trying to listen. Do I remember that one? It's really great. It's a very organic process. And what I love about it is that Spirit is always guiding. We can be very different people. We can have very different backgrounds. We can come from different places. We can have different experiences in life. But one thing always brings us back together, and that's the Spirit within that we share, the Spirit of God within us. We share that. It's so important that we acknowledge that we share a single identity of Spirit. And that is what I want to talk about today. Get one of these little things here. I created a series without even knowing it. It's called the God Is series. And we started with God is love and only love. And then last week we talked about how God is Spirit. And if God is Spirit, we have to talk about God being everywhere. And that means omnipresence. So we're going to talk about the idea of omnipresence today. We're going to explore that idea, that which is within and without. The Alpha and the Omega. Remember Jesus said, I am the Alpha. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the ending. And so it's not blasphemous to claim these truths for yourself. This is what we were taught to do. To claim I am the Alpha and the Omega, that I am Spirit, that I think with the mind of God. And we want to see it as yin and yang. We want to see it as within and without, above and below, always and in all ways. The microcosm and the macrocosm. The center and the circumference. But with God, much like a black hole, the circumference is an event horizon. It's not a boundary. We tend to you back in the same way. It's an event horizon. It's not a boundary, but a portal to infinity. This is what we're entering into. The awakening is a portal into infinity. And once you pass that horizon, you enter in forever. No one knows what happens inside a black hole, as no one knows the fullness of the mind of God. It's the same. That's why the spiritual journey is the greatest adventure that you will ever take as a human being. This is your journey. It's a spiritual journey. And even though we cannot grasp the fullness of it, some people don't grasp what you're doing at all. It's just impossible for them to understand what your spiritual journey is like. But even though it's hard for some to understand conceptually, you can feel it. You can understand your own experience. You cannot grasp the fullness of what we call the great mystery, but you can begin to feel the power of it. You could feel the power of it. That's why our spiritual practice is so important. I feel the power of that. It dissolves all of my human worries, what I call my problems, all my concerns, all the stress I've built up. It dissolves all of that. But then what's in its place is this incredible power. It's the foundation of where you should be living. It's the foundation of your soul. This spiritual power, this spiritual experience is the foundation of your soul. Now, when you pulled up this morning, you might have seen a lovely lawn ornament sitting out there, the excavator on our front lawn. Now, we've had a huge crack in the foundation of this building for a long time. Water's been getting in the basement. And finally, I uncovered it. It took a long time to even get up the motivation to take out the wall to find the crack in the foundation. Even more motivation and perhaps a little luck and a few miracles to find a person to dig it out and repair it from the outside and the inside. But the metaphor to me was astounding. And that is, there was a crack in the foundation of my consciousness, severing my awareness to my divine self. That crack goes mostly unnoticed because it's covered up with a lot of crazy thinking. It's covered up with a lot of beliefs, a lot of emotional baggage, a lot of human thinking, limited thinking. So I don't see that I've severed my relationship with God or the universe. And therefore, I'm blind to my own power, my own being, my own divine identity. And so I need to repair that crack. I might need some help. It might take, boy, I'll tell you, I'm not going to tell you the whole story of yesterday because it would take a whole week to explain everything that went on. But a lot of things kept falling apart and coming together. And I thought about, all day I thought about the saying, when it's falling apart, perhaps it's actually falling together. It's falling into place. It's falling in divine order. And for years, we've needed to repair this crack. First, see, this is a great metaphor because first, I didn't even know it was there. We don't know where that place in our mind is. We're not aware that we severed our consciousness from the divine and that we're just focused on the machinations of human existence, which come and go and are temporary. And we forget. We forgot about the eternal. We need to repair that place that's been severed. So first, I need to become aware of it. Now, in the basement, I became aware that there was a drip of water coming in when it rained. Then when it rained harder, it was more like a river. And I was thinking, something's going on. Like, you get this in life too. Like, you get these moments in your life where you go, something's going on. Like, I don't know what it is yet. And all week I felt unsettled. All week felt completely overwhelmed. Something's going on in my consciousness. Just like something's going on. Where's all this water coming from? Where's all this pain and suffering or even just unease coming from? Where's this headache coming from, perhaps? Like diseases is a good indicator that something's going wrong somewhere. I need to find that crack and repair it. So you become aware of it, and then you have to seek to find the solution or the repair, the spiritual repair, is always a form of practice of identifying with God, identifying with your divine self. It's some form of that practice, of getting out, quieting your mind, getting out of your constant blah, 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 blah in your head. Getting, whether it's prayer, meditation, mindfulness, resetting your nervous system. Even just walking on the beach, that did it for me yesterday. This is so important to keep aware of the places that you fracture your consciousness, sever your identity with the divine. Because only you can actually repair that sever, that crack, and make yourself whole again. Actually realize you're still whole, that in truth nothing has touched your spirit, no matter how traumatic it is. This is why forgiveness is so important. I'm way off the script. I have a huge script too. I haven't even gotten to it yet. Sorry about that. I'm still on the first slide. But I want to talk a little bit about forgiveness. When Lily and I do a forgiveness workshop, there's some folks who've been really traumatized and really hurt by actual abuse or violence in their life. And we always have to go to that place very carefully, that whatever you did to me in that moment, you never touched my spirit. Whatever happened to my body did not affect my spirit or my spiritual identity. Whatever occurred, and it could have been an accident. You might have been in a plane crash. You might have survived a car accident. You might have been driving the wrong way and caused an accident. Whatever occurred did not affect the perfection and purity of your spirit. And getting in touch with that healed a lot of things going on in me this week. Thinking that I was failing, I wasn't enough, I didn't get to that crack soon enough, and it's not working out. I ordered the wrong machine, had to go get another one. Whatever it was, whatever it might be, the thoughts that are undermining your divinity, those thoughts are the cracks in your consciousness. And that they have to be filled with what? Truth. Have to be filled with truth. They have to be filled with true ideas. And that's why we're here in the middle of the God Is series. Because these are true ideas. God is spirit. God is love and only love. I am what God is. And I need to hear that and keep repeating that in my consciousness on a daily basis. See, the reality of this thing that we call God, it's omnipresent. If God, spirit, eternal love, divine presence is everywhere, then it's got to be in you as well. But it's not just in you. Like a lot of people want to just say, oh, it's within me. There's no God out there. Yeah, we're not talking about the guy in the sky, as Bruce would say. We're talking about the omnipresent energy, omnipresent divine energy that's all around you. So God is within and without. It would have to be that way because actually there's no out there. You're projecting it from your consciousness. So what is within is without. And I'm back to the beginning again, the Alpha and the Omega. So I want to read a little bit from, I've been using Ellen's book, Ellen Davenport's 5 Principles, because she says in Principle 1 maintains that we are one with God, not separate, not being watched, but immersed in the divine. Immersed in the divine. As the Apostle Paul told the Athenians, We live and move and have our being in God and in oneness. God lives and moves and has its expression in us. A God of oneness is immanent and transcendent. I love this. We have to understand that it's both. It's both and. It's never either or, right, guys? I learned that here. I'm in the middle of some sort of conflict of how to do something as a minister, and somebody would say, it's not either or. What if it's both and? What if you can include more? What if you can include more? What if you can include more? And I want to invite everyone here to be more inclusive. To be more, throughout your week, to be more inclusive in inviting people into this divine energy. You don't have to say anything about it. Just say, come along with me. Check it out for yourself. See how you feel about it. Because we're immersed in this transcendent and immanent energy. It's within us and all around us. We're like fish in the water, largely unaware of the sustaining force in which we exist. And I always say, I don't remember who said it first, but a human being searching for God's like a fish searching for the water. We're in it, and we are it. We are the ocean. I can't think of an ocean without fish. It wouldn't be an ocean without seaweed, without horseshoe crabs, without sharks, whales, dolphins, sea turtles. I couldn't think of an ocean without all of those things. Tourists. No, there's no ocean without them. I love it. So another fact is that you will only experience God within yourself to the It's just that simple. If oneness is oneness, we exclude someone, it's going to be ourselves that we're excluding. Of all the lessons in the Course in Miracles that I've ever learned, there's not one that has affected me as much as Lesson 29. God is in everything I see. God is in everything I see. It states in the Course, also in that lesson, that this idea is the basis for all spiritual vision. Unless you start to see God in everything, in the chair. They say, the lesson actually says practice saying God is in that chair. God is in that light. God is in that body. God is in this remote control. God is in that guitar player. God is in that vocalist. God is in the microphone. Just do that for 10 minutes a day, whatever you see. And don't exclude anything. The trick to these lessons is don't exclude anything or anyone. Just keep going. And even close your eyes and you start thinking about people, even the ones you don't like. God is in them. A very wise spiritual master said, you will see God in all or you will not see God at all. You will see God in all or you will not see God at all. So it's clear to me that there are some people and situations and circumstances in which it's difficult for me to see God. There are some people that are not showing up as very loving or peaceful or even tolerable at times. Sometimes life can feel challenging. Life can feel like it's just not working out sometimes. But you know what it is? It doesn't mean that God is not present in that situation. It's just that I am temporarily unable to see God or access the divine presence in that situation because I've got a fracture in my thinking. I've separated myself from the truth. And I know from deep experience that eventually I will see the good in that situation and in that person. I will see the lesson. I will witness whatever temporary circumstance may be. I will see God. I will see the light. I will see the perfection of the universe at work for the highest good of all in this situation, in this circumstance, or in this person, no matter what it looks like now. I'm going to see the good because that's what I'm looking for. And if there's something that's blocking my vision from that, and I run into that, that's good. That's a great moment. I'm so glad I found the crack in the foundation. Now I can fix it. Now I can patch it. It's already fixed, actually. Okay, so I'm sitting here. I got this fracture fixed, but I still got this heavy piece of equipment sitting on my front lawn. The lawn's a mess. There's a pile of stone over here the cars can't get through. There's all kinds of other little details. Okay, that's the emotional baggage that came along with the fracture in my consciousness. You get it? Got to still work. Got to keep working. That thing will be gone tomorrow. They'll come and repair the machine, and they'll be able to drive it onto the truck and take it away. John's going to help our friend Eddie move all that stone where it needs to go. We're going to get some loam and grass seed and fix the lawn. We're going to plant flowers, and we're going to put the gutters and downspouts back together, and the water's going to run away from the building. And since there's no crack in the foundation, I can now remodel the bathroom. I've been wanting to do that for 10 years. So believe me, when I say this is an adventure, spiritual adventure, a practice that you need to practice on a daily basis, there's still going to be things that you need to clean up. Even if you have a great, huge revelation that God lives in me and I'm perfect, eternal being, I'm still going to have to get out there and clean up the emotional baggage. I'm still going to have to do the work required to manifest, to integrate this spiritual energy into my life. Now, I know that this is a long and drawn-out explanation of how God is everywhere. But if I just came up here and gave you platitudes and cliches and quotes, and it wasn't connected to anything, you wouldn't grow. You wouldn't have an experience. And you wouldn't be motivated to awaken from your dream of separation. You wouldn't be motivated to manifest your greatest life and know that that's the only one you want. You manifest the most dynamic, wonderful, beautiful version of your loving self. Because you were meant for that, nothing less. Don't take anything less. That's why I'm so fired up today, is because I'm not going to accept anything less than the greatest version of my loving self. And you should too. Don't let it pass you by. Ask yourself, what is this life for? Because you are worthy of it. Tell him everything I just told you there, Kevin. God is in everything I see. So we know, let me see if I can get to the next one. Oh, good. We know that all things, no matter what, even if there's a crack from the top to the bottom of the foundation of your consciousness, all things work together for good to those who love God or divine presence and to those who are called according to a divine purpose. I know the Bible says he and his and all that, but aren't we here to evolve? Right? I'm going to have to write the Bible with the, what is it? The non-gender, gender neutral. Yeah, I was trying to do that with A Course in Miracles. It's going to take me about 10 lifetimes, and this is my last one. So I'll pass that one on to you guys. But divine spirit doesn't have a gender. I'll just say that. Called according to a divine purpose in your life. Are you called according to a purpose, a divine purpose? I think you are. And I think you'll find it. But I think you might have to repair a crack in your consciousness that has separated you from the awareness of your divine self. And I would say that this place, Unity on Cape Cod, is going to provide a lot of tools for you to repair that crack, to repair the illusion of separation between you and God. Because you're not separate, you are one. It's like the fish swimming in the sea. You don't have to look for God, you just need to accept it. It's all around you and within you. It's what you're breathing. It's what you're consuming. It's what you are. And it's the environment in which you live. You're swimming in a sea of divine energy. And I would say, just give this to your neighbor, this knowledge, and all is going to be well. Because the day... And I might add, it's also the day in which the entire world takes one more step toward peace. If you want peace on earth, it's here. It's here. It's seeing God in your neighbor and in yourself. These are evolutionary steps. These are not more temporary illusions of progress. These are steps which bring you closer to that portal of infinity that I talked about earlier in this message. Eckhart Tolle talked a little bit about that. And he asked the question, is humanity ready for a transformation of consciousness? An inner flowering so radical and profound that compared to the flowering of plants, no matter how beautiful, it's only a pale reflection. Can human beings lose the density of their conditioned mind structures and become like crystals or precious stones, so to speak, transparent to the light of consciousness? Can human beings question? Can I lose the density of my conditioned mind structures? Become transparent to the light of consciousness. Because that's what I'm looking for. I want consciousness to shine through me. I truly want to be the light of the world. And can human beings defy the gravitational pull of materialism? This is important. And materiality, and rise above identification with form. Can we rise above identification with form that keeps the ego in place and condemns the individual to imprisonment within its own personality? I say yes, we can. I say yes, we are. I'm ready to transform my consciousness. I'm ready to break down the density of my conditioned mind structures. And to be truly honest and with conviction, I can say, no matter what's going on, God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. God, love, spirit, divine presence, eternal energy, divine energy. That's my source. That's where I live and move and have my being. And this thing that we call God, it's everywhere.